Today we will learn how to set up the scanning automation so the system can automatically find the correct class for your students when they scan in using PerfectScan. First, click on the Setup button at the top right corner, and then Company Setup from the left-hand side. Click on Martial Arts just beneath, and then click on Automation. And here we're going to create a new automation record, so just click on the New button. And the first thing we're going to do is enter a name for the automation record. Now this typically is the school name, and if you have multiple locations then you want to have the school name and then a dash and then the location name, for instance the city or the county that it's in. So for this example I'll just use Perfecto MMA. The school owner's name will go into the primary contact name. And now we're going to add the school's email address. Now, this isn't necessarily the owner's email address. This is just your general email where students should be emailing you if they have any questions in regards to the school. In the phone field, we'll put the school's phone number, and then the school address into the address field. Then I'll just type in the city, select your country, select the state or province, and then enter in your zip or postal code. Next we'll enter in the school slogan, and you can enter in your website here, and then your school's fax number, and lastly we're just going to enter in the hours of operation. And now we're ready to set up the scanning application settings. Here we're just entering in how many minutes before a class starts that the students are allowed to scan in at. And now we're entering in the value for how late a student can attend your class. Now, just a key thing, make sure that your minutes before class starts added to the minutes after class starts is no longer than your actual class length, because what will happen is if you have two classes back to back that a student is eligible for, when you scan them in, the system will see, hey, he can attend both of these classes and won't know which one to actually put him into. And now we'll be entering in how many minutes between each scan-in they're allowed to do. This prevents, if you have little kids that you're teaching, it prevents them from scanning in multiple times into your database so they show more attendances than they should. And how the manual event selection dropdown works is if the system does see that there are two classes that the students are eligible for, you have a couple of options. If you do not select events, that means that the system won't record any attendance, or if you have makeup classes allowed, it will create a makeup record. Only select for multiple events means that you won't see a little pop-up open up if a student's just scanning into the regular class, but as soon as a student comes in who's eligible for multiple classes, you'll see a little pop-up on your screen where you can manually click on which class they're attending. And the very last option is always select events, so what will happen is even if the system only detects one class that they're eligible for, it will still bring a pop-up so you have to click on it. And the system understands two different ways of scanning in your students into your classes. So if you have classes such as a white belt class, blue belt class, black belt class, then you'll want to select the smart scanning by rank. If you have youth classes, adult classes, and kids classes, then you'll want to select the smart scanning by age. If you have classes such as youth blue belt, adult blue belt, and so forth, then you can actually select both of them so it checks both at once. And in PerfectMind, you also have the option to allow makeup classes. Now, sometimes you'll have students who they miss their original class, so they join another class instead. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to scan in even if the system can't find a class that they're supposed to go into, it'll create them a makeup record instead. So now what we'll do, we'll take a look at the rating system, and how this works is it checks the students' attendances for the last 30 days and assigns them a rating based on the number of attendances that you enter in here. Now, the A rating will tell the system that they need at least this number of attendances in the last 30 days to have an A rating. Usually the industry standard seems to be 864 for A, B, and C, but obviously this will change depending on the number of attendances you expect from your students each month. So the B and C rating, how these work is, for instance, we'll enter in 6 into the B field, and if a student has 6 or 7 attendances in the last 30 days, then they will be a B student. Otherwise, if they hit that magical A8, then they will be an A student. So the whole point of the rating system is so you can easily either create yourself a report or a view, and you can instantly see which students you should pay the most attention to as they're attending your classes the least. and then simply click on Save to save your automation record.